if I could go back in time, run it back one time, or spin a block to get back what's mine and do it all over again. But I would've never told you that I loved you, cause I should've kept it playing.
Hey YouTube, it's your girl Mia Pia, back again with another video. Today we're going to do a mukbang and a story time. So a lot of people have been telling me to do a story time on my pregnancy. And child, I don't even know why people think that's funny, but we're going to get into this video. So we got Chipotle today. We got, we got a steak bowl. I get extra rice, extra steak, of course. And I get pico, corn, heavy cheese, heavy sour cream. I don't eat guacamole, so yeah. So we're gonna get into this video. So this was back 2018. Okay, so I got I ain't gonna just jump in and say I got pregnant. Okay, so we're gonna start with the February. Okay, so did what had to be done, whatever. But okay, so March came and okay, me, I don't know if any other girls do this, but I was never the type to keep up with my cycle. So this piece of hurt in my mouth, it's starting to piss me off. Okay, but I was never the type to keep up with my cycle. I know, don't get on me in the comments, but I was never the type to keep up with my cycle. So March came, I'm living everyday life, whatever, I ain't got no care in the world. So April come, I'm like, I ain't had no cycle in March, but I'm like, whatever. So April come, and I remember April 20, March the 28th. I was spotting. March the 28th, I was spotting. But I ain't thinking nothing of it because I'm like, okay, well, it'll come when it come. So April come, not thinking nothing of it, whatever. Next thing I know, I go out of town. I kind of had in my mind, like, you could be pregnant. But I'm like, no, I can't be pregnant. Like, I can't get pregnant. I can't get pregnant. So April come, and it was April. I'm gonna try to have accurate dates, but I think it was the weekend on like the 14th, 15th, 16th, something like that. So my auntie was moving to Texas, so I rode down there with her. Everything cool. We left that Saturday, whatever. Came back that Sunday. So that Sunday I woke up. I kind of woke up feeling a little but I was just like, maybe because I woke up too early. We finna get on the road, all that. So we was on the road. We had stopped. We stopped at like Chicken Express. I don't know how far we was on the road. Well, I don't know how long we was on the road at that point. Probably about an hour or two. We stopped at Chicken Express. Now y'all know, black people love the smell of fried chicken. But me, when I smelled that, someone right in the inside. Something was not right in my insides. So I felt my mouth watering. And that's the first sign to throwing up. I ran to the bathroom. I'm throwing up. And it was bitter and yellow. And I remember in the back of my head, my mom be like, if it's bitter and yellow, you need to be concerned. And I'm kind of like, nah, I got acid reflux. Like, nah, this ain't it. So I'm throwing up. So my grandma was like, do you want something to eat? I'm like, nah, I don't feel it. And I should have got me a ginger ale or something. But, my mind, I'm like, we did eat Whataburger the day before. So I wasn't thinking nothing of it. So, y'all, we get back in Memphis. I go to my grandma's house. So I'm kind of like laying down or whatever. I'm just like, ugh. So I end up going back home a couple days later. Back to my mom's house. I ended up going home. So it was one day, my mama, she worked at a clothing store at the time, so she wanted me to help her do inventory check. We had to get up at like 6 in the morning. Who finna do that? So I get up, we do the inventory check. Kind of like an hour within the inventory check, I felt myself, I had to throw up again. But I'm like, I ain't thinking of it. But okay, prior to that, when we was on the way back, I saw one of my older friends, and I was like, girl, this test say I'm pregnant. But I had been telling her like the symptoms. I'm like, I haven't had a cycle in 2 months. I have my like breast had been getting kind of sore, but you know, I've been throwing up, of course, and all that. So from with the cycle, I was like, I'm just stressed out. So my cycle haven't came because I'm stressed. With me throwing up, I got acid reflux. And what was the other one? I forgot. But I was just really in denial, like, I'm not pregnant. I can't be pregnant. Who am I pregnant by? No, I'm just kidding. But like, who am I to get pregnant? I don't even like kids. Like, honestly. So what happened? So I gathered the evidence. So y'all know, like, when y'all be young and you doing something you ain't got no business and your mama call your name. So I'm like, I'm getting the evidence out the bathroom. I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? My mom was like, Tamia. I'm like, oh shoot. I was like, huh? She was like, go pick up the pizza. I'm like, I was like, girl, cause you almost had me frightened. Like, honestly. So I was like, you know, I went to go pick up the pizza. Mom just thinking the whole time. So I ended up texting my BD, and I sent him the picture of the test. He was out of town at the time, so he was like, he gonna handle it when he get back. And I'm like, no, we need to handle this now, like right now. So at that point, I'm just like, you know, whatever. So everybody kind of, well, my older friend that I told her, and then I had told my best friend at the time. They was like, when you go tell your mama? Everybody kind of like, when you go tell your mama? I'm like, when I come home from the hospital with baby, surprise, you got a grandchild? I'm like, I don't know. Because it was so funny. I was just like, I just don't want to tell her. Like, and I was scared. Like, I was grown in my own house. I had, you know, of course I'm a nail tech. I've been doing my own thing. But it's just like, telling your mama you pregnant, like, girl, she gonna knock my head between the washer and dryer. And I don't got time for that. Like, no. So I'm like, I don't know. So mind y'all, my birthday was Sunday. This happened on Friday. My birthday was Sunday. So my mama was like, well, where you want to go for your birthday? Now this one, Longhorn came out with the garlic crusted Parmesan steak, the chicken breast, all that. I wanted that steak so bad, y'all. We got Longhorn. So I ordered my food. When I smelled that steak, it smelled like cow. I was just like,
it's not like cow. It's good.
You hear my baby? I was like, I can't eat this. So I was trying not to make it seem like I didn't want the steak because I had been raving about this steak for the longest. So I know my mom was gonna peep. So I'm like, girl, let me see. So I'm like, okay, whatever.
Chick-fil-A.
So my plan was actually to come out and tell her Mother's Day. So I was gonna tell her Mother's Day. I had it all planned out. I was gonna put the test up in the cute little box. I was gonna get her a card and put a cute little poem in it, like saying basically you finna be a grandma. Mother's Day came. I made her breakfast, da da da. She was having a good day, so I wouldn't go mess up her day by telling her something like this. So we went over my grandma's house, and this may be TMI, but I hadn't had a bowel movement. So I was like, Granny, do you got some like stool softener or laxative, something? So my grandma gave me like some stool softener, like, you take these and you go to bed. So where did I leave off at? Where did I leave off at? So basically, yeah, so her Mother's Day was going good. So, well, okay, so I told my grandma that, like, I need to go to the bathroom. So she gave me some stool softeners. I took them, whatever. So me and my mama went back home, and my mama had cooked stuffed chicken breast that night. Now I couldn't wait to get my mouth on that because I love stuffed chicken breast. Y'all, when this woman was in this kitchen cooking and I smelled like the chicken, Oh my God, it smelled like chicken. Like they be clucking in the field and stuff. It smelled like raw chicken. So I was on a balcony, like throwing up. I was on the balcony throwing up. So my mom was kind of looking at me like, what's wrong with her? But so when she got done cooking, I ate probably like a bite of the food, and that was that. And I felt myself had to go to the bathroom, but I couldn't go. So anyways, I was like, okay, I need to tell her. I swear to God, the next day, those next 2 weeks after Mother's Day, I was sick every single day. Morning sickness like clockwork. I can wake up at 7 in the morning throwing up. Every other hour I was throwing up. And I know this is too much information, but I was sick as a dog. Like my whole pregnancy, from the first trimester to the second to the third. He gave it to me. So I was throwing up every other hour. And I'm just like, and I didn't have no energy and everything, like, cause at that point meat made me sick. Everything made me sick. The only thing I could keep down was a little bit of a Sprite and a little bit of vanilla ice cream. So that whole weekend went by. My mama didn't really say nothing. So the next week came. So she was like, you ready to go home? Which every time she asked me that, I started throwing up again. She was like, I don't know what's wrong with you. Like, you don't have to get up out of here. You need to go back to your own place. But I'm like, oh, I need to be up under my mama. Like, y'all, I'm not feeling good. Like, girl. So then next Monday, my mom was off work. She was off work that Monday and Tuesday. So I'm like, okay. So that Monday, she tried to be slick, y'all, and try to schedule me a doctor's appointment. Like, I want no 22-year-old woman. Girl. Come to find out, so my insurance had canceled at the time. I'm like, because I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the doctor's appointment. I'm going to play like I don't know I'm pregnant. And boom, doctor will be like, oh, you pregnant? Boom, boom, boom. She ain't going to suspect nothing. Insurance canceled. Couldn't do that. So I'm like, how can I tell her? Because I feel like I'm getting too deep into this pregnancy. Like, I'm getting too deep into this. So, y'all, that Wednesday she went to work. I'm at the house just throwing up. So, Thursday she was off. I'll never forget this day. This was Thursday, May 17th, 2018, y'all. 2018. She wake up. Okay, so I woke up. Like I said, I wake up early. I woke up at like 7 o'clock, throwing up. 8 o'clock, I'm fine. 9 o'clock, throwing up. 10 o'clock, I'm fine. 11 o'clock, throwing up. At this point, she had got out the bed like around 10:30. So, Judge Mathis come on at 11. She was cleaning up the living room, just straightening up the living room. At this point, y'all, I'm literally in the bathroom over the toilet, just hovering over the toilet. Like, at this point, this my seat. This my seat of the house. Because I'm throwing up every time. Like, oh my God. So, y'all, she was like, you need to get up, put on some clothes, take you a shower, do whatever you need to do. We finna go to the emergency room. I'm like, oh, shit. I was like, okay. So, I took a shower. So, I'm in the shower constantly like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna say? Oh my God. I'm just nervous. Like, I'm like, Mom, ain't nothing. She was like, no, because I'm sick of you throwing up every time you turn around. You could be dying. I'm like, what? So, I got myself together. So she was like, are you ready to go? I'm like, yeah. So we went to St. Francis and Bartlett. So, like I said, at the time, she was the store manager for It's Fashion. Y'all, she dropped me. Okay, so she had to take them the schedule for work. I got myself together. So she was like, are you ready to go? I'm like, yeah. So we went to St. Francis and Bartlett. So, like I said, at the time, she was the store manager for It's Fashion. Y'all, she dropped me. Okay, so she had to take them the schedule for work. She dropped me off at the front door. She said, go on and get checked in. I'm going to be back. So I go up in there. The nurse was like, what are you in for? I'm like, I'm having abdominal pain, been throwing up, don't feel good, blah, blah. She was okay. So then they called me back, of course, to take, you know, my blood pressure, my temperature, all that. So the nurse was asking me, the second nurse asked me, I'm like, abdominal pain, throwing up, blah, blah, blah. She was like, do you think you're pregnant? Nope. And I looked at her with a straight face, like, no. So she was okay, well, we'll get you a room together and we'll call you back. So probably about 5 minutes later, they got me a room together. So she was like, okay, so this was the third nurse. She was like, we're going to get, oh shit. She was like, we're going to get a urine sample. I'm like, okay. Mind y'all, 2 weeks, I hadn't ate or drunk nothing. So, baby, my pee looks like Coke. Look like Coke because I was, of course, dehydrated. So the lady was like, you're really dehydrated. We got to get you an IV and some fluids. I'm like, no, I want y'all to just tell me I'm not pregnant so I can go. I'm like, oh my God, they want to give me an IV. So now I got to sit down and get hooked up. So she gave me the IV. And at that point, I became real thirsty. I think, like, I don't know. So I was like, can I have some water? She was like, I'll get you some. She was like, you got to let your IV set in first. And I'm like, girl, whatever. So 10 minutes later, my mom come in. She was like, what? She was like, what's going on? I said, they said I was dehydrated. I had to get some fluids, da-da-da. My mama looked at me. To me, if you pregnant, I'm going to kick you out. I was like, Mom, I'm not pregnant. I'm trying to play it off. At that time, to me, you should just went ahead and say something. But I wasn't going to say nothing. I wasn't going to say nothing. She don't say nothing. Like, so, yeah, we in the hospital. I'm on my phone. I'm texting my BD like, I'm at the hospital. Da-da-da. He like, what hospital you at? I'm finna come up there. No. I was like, no. He was like, why? I'm like, because I ain't telling my mom I'm pregnant. He was like, what you waiting on? I was like, for it to not be true. So, I'm nervous, but I'm like, man, I wish they'd hurry up. So, probably 10 minutes go by. And 10 minutes go by. What happened? And the doctor came in there. So the doctor was like, oh, what's the problem? So he kind of looking at my ankles. I'm kind of looking at him like, what are you doing down there? Like I said, my stomach hurts. Like, why are you down there? Come to find out, my dumb self, I didn't know that they were checking to see if my ankles were swollen. So I'm like, I got stomach pains. I've been throwing up, blah, blah. So he started pressing down on my stomach. Almost him in his face. Like, why would you do that? So I'm like, my stomach hurts. So he was like, okay, it's right there. I'm like, yeah. So it was him and a nurse. And he was like, okay, we'll be back shortly with your results. I'm like, bro, it don't take that long for a P test. Like, hurry up. So when I say 8 minutes later, the doctor and 3 nurses came in there. At that point, I was just like, sigh. He said, I have some good or some bad news. My mama looked at him, looked at me. I looked at him, looked at her. He was like, congratulations, Miss McGee, you're pregnant. I was like, what? My mama said, you knew you've been pregnant this whole time. I'm like, I was like, girl, I didn't really know. I said, I took a test from Dollar Tree, but I don't feel like they're accurate. Here come the doctor. Oh, those are tests we use. Thank you. You can get out now. Like, gone. So, fast forward to, at that point, I'm pregnant. My mom was like, oh, I can't wait till your grandma find out you ain't the golden child no more. Da da da. How about y'all? My grandma had a dream. She was like, I had a dream you was pregnant. Girl, why you didn't tell me? Like, when was you gonna tell me? Like, girl, come on then. So I'm kind of like, everybody knew but me. My mom said, I knew you was pregnant. So when were you gonna let me know? Like, you the one who had a baby, not me. Come in, they take my insurance, whatever. So she was like, the ultrasound tech is on her way. It'll be about 10 minutes. Okay, cool. We're waiting in the waiting room. And so then the ultrasound tech come in. She was like, who's the mom? I'm like, me. So I was like, Mom, what if I'm really not pregnant? And like, this is a joke. My mom said, you better be pregnant. All this stuff I done went through. Y'all. So I lay on the bed. and I lift my shirt up. So she so she put the little, little warm jelly on there, whatever. So she moving the wand. So I'm kind of like, what if it's not a baby up in there? I'm kind of like, what if it's not a baby? Like, for real, like, what if it's not a baby? My mama said, girl, hush. So my mama was looking. Okay, so y'all, the way the room was, it was a flat screen TV right here. I'm facing this way. But it was the ultrasound machine right here. So my mom was like, I get to see the baby and you don't. I said, I'm looking at the TV right there. My mom was like, oh. So she turned around and looked at the TV. So the lady's searching. She's like, where's the baby? Where's the baby? So you hear like the little heartbeat. It sounded like a little dun, 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 a little dump, a little horse to me. A little horse galloping. So, baby, I bullshit y'all not. This baby pop up on this screen. Moment of silence. Y'all, this was a grown ass man in me. Like, I'm gonna put a picture on either side of my first ultrasound. This was a grown man that needed a job and pay bills. Because why the hell did he have arms, legs? He was waving, he was looking, he was moving. And I'm kind of confused because I'm like, he doing all this moving, but why I don't feel nothing? So I was just like, y'all got to be joking. My mama said, what the hell? I was like, I said, that's a big baby. My mama said, wait, how far along is she? Y'all, this ultrasound tech was like, she's 17 weeks. Y'all, I was 17 weeks. A whole 4 months or so. So, my mom was like, wait a minute. So, they mean this baby finna be born this year. She was like, yeah, due date is November 16th. Mind you, it's June. November this year? How many months is that? July, August, September, October, November. That's 5 more months. What you mean? So I'm like, I said, can I find out the sex? She was like, yeah. I said, well, I don't want to know because I was having a gender reveal, of course. So I was like, what? I was like, can you put it in an envelope? She was like, yeah, I can put it in an envelope. So she put it in an envelope. We left. So at the time, my mom friend that was planning my gender reveal, we went to go meet up with her, and she got the envelope. So she was taunting me every day, like, I know the gender and you don't. And I'm just like, I'm having a girl. Like, in my mind, I was having a girl. Like, I was supposed to have a girl. Because my brother, his baby mom at the time, she was pregnant with a boy. So, who gotta have a girl? Me, right? Like, don't look like I have a girl. Like, come on, be for real. So I was like, oh, I'm having a girl. So my mom was like, that's a boy. Excuse me? I was like, I'm having a girl. So we'll go in stores. Like, my mama didn't want to buy nothing yet unless it's gender neutral. But I was just like, I'm having a girl. So I'm in the girl section. She in the boy section. So she was like to me, you having a boy. You full of boys. Because my job, I'm the only girl. My daddy has 2 boys and me. I'm the only girl. So I'm just like, I got to be having a daughter. Like, it's only right for God to bless me with a daughter. So, y'all, my gender reveal wasn't until the next month. So, I'm antsy because I'm like, I need to know what I'm having. I'm finna cancel my gender reveal because I'm like, I gotta know if I'm having a girl or not. Like, if I'm not having a girl, I'm not having no more kids. Like, honestly. So, fast forward to my gender reveal. So the night before, me and my mom was making our shirts. I'm like team boy, team girl. You know, I ain't want to be petty and be like, oh, I'm team girl. Like, you know, with my pink everything, blah, 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 blah. Child. So my mama had her team boy shirt on with her blue Converse and her blue this, her blue that. But slightly, I had like I had my pink nails, my pink nose ring. I had something else pink. You know, I'm team girl. Like, I'm team girl. So we did gender reveal. Everything was cool. So y'all, when it came time to pop that balloon, I'm gonna put a video clip. Excuse me. I'm gonna see if I can put a video clip in there, and y'all can see the sadness on my face. They had to count down like 3 times. 3 times. I was having a girl up until it was time to pop the balloon. And I was just like, I'm finna have a boy. I was like, I'm finna have a boy. So I was kind of hurt. So when I popped the balloon and all of the blue flew out everywhere, at first I was laughing like excited. I was excitedly crying. But then I real deal started crying, like boo-hooing. I'm like, this is not right. This is not what I want. Like, oh my God, I was so hurt. Like, how dare y'all? How dare y'all give me, how dare you give me a boy? I don't deserve this. And I'm just like, I'm just so over it. Like, I'm just so over it. So, at that point, I'm just like, okay, I'm having a boy. So my brother baby mama, she was like, but they can grow up together. I'm like, girl, I don't care about that. I wanted a daughter. Because I'm like, now I got to have another baby. Like, I got to have a girl. Now y'all, I don't want no girl at all. Like, all boys me, please. So, I was just hurt. Whatever. So, fast forward to when I was having him. When I was giving, well, when I was finna go into I wouldn't necessarily call it labor, but it was labor. So it was November 1st, because that's my son's birthday. If you didn't know, now you know. So it was November 1st. That was actually, I had my doctor's appointment that day. And I had my last ultrasound. So, I had my doctor's appointment and my last ultrasound that day. What happened? So when I was doing my last ultrasound, the ultrasound tech kind of scared me. Because she was like the BPM or the BPR, the BP something. His looked low. And the highest was a 10. His was at a 2. What does that mean? Like, what are you saying? She was like, don't panic. I'm finna call your doctor. Girl, I'm finna cry. Because what you was talking about. So, I'm just like, she finna call my doctor. I don't know what she's talking about. She's telling me don't panic, girl, I'm finna cry. And then in like the last ultrasound, he wasn't really moving, but I knew the times that he was kind of asleep. So he was asleep. And he really didn't want to be bothered because he was facing towards me. Like, he was facing towards me. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So she gave me the ultrasound pictures, whatnot. We left. So I was like, okay, Mom, I want some Chick-fil-A. Like, I wanted some Chick-fil-A.
I got Chick-fil-A. I forgot macaroni.
I was like, I wanted some Chick-fil-A. So, y'all, as soon as we finna turn in Chick-fil-A drive-thru, my doctor called. Hey, she has to get induced. Don't stop and get her nothing to eat. Head to the hospital now. What? And that was surprisingly the first time I didn't eat nothing that morning. I had I probably had 3 grapes. 3! Peek my nails though, y'all.
3 grapes?
Shop on my website. But, I had like 3 grapes. And I had my mouth set on a chicken sandwich. So I had my mouth set on a chicken sandwich. So we go up to St. Francis on Park, because that's where my doctor was delivering. But at the time, my doctor wasn't there because she had worked the night before. I get checked in. Of course, I had to go to the labor and delivery floor. All that. So I'm kind of like, I feel fine. But of course, they had to monitor the baby. So I was getting monitored forever, like, seems like. So probably after 4 hours, the doctor came in. She was like, well, do you want to get induced right now, or do you want to kind of weigh it out? Because I was 37 weeks. If I would have waited that Friday, I would have been 38 weeks. But I was 37 weeks and 6 days. So I was kind of scared. So I was asking my mama, like, what should I do? She was like, well, it's your choice. So I was asking the doctor, like, do he got all his fingers, his toes? Like, baby, do he got everything that he needs to have? Because if he don't, let him finish baking. She was like, yeah, he got everything. Because I was full term. I didn't know that, but I was full term. So at that point, you know, I said, well, if he got everything that he needs to have, get him up out of here. So they started my labor process 7 at night. Mind you, I had been in the hospital since 11 that morning. So they gave me Pitocin. Of course, they're supposed to speed up the labor, but anyways, that didn't do anything. Well, no, it did. I was contracting bad, but they didn't put a catheter in me so I could go to the bathroom. But I was just so uncomfortable. Like, I really need to stand up. I was like, can I stand up? They was like, but we have to monitor the baby's heart rate, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, he's still alive, because if he wasn't, I wouldn't be hurting this bad. Knowing me, I'm dumb. But, you know, I'm just kind of like, whatever. So, y'all, 7 o'clock, start my labor process, all that. The labor, hold on, what happened? It was going cool. As long as I was standing up, the contractions was flowing through me. Now, I did something I wasn't supposed to do. I asked my mama did she have some gum in her purse. She didn't have no gum. So, she had a Twix. I ate that Twix. I threw up that Twix. And it made my labor even harder. So it made my labor process even worse, like, at that moment. So I'm up in there crying. I'm like, oh my God, I can't, because at this point it was unbearable pain. Like, I had to get an epidural, and I didn't want to get one, but at that point I needed one. So she was like, at that point I was 2 centimeters, just 2 deuce, you know. So I'm like, when would you recommend me to get it? She was like, at least get it when you're 4. That way it won't wear off when you're finna have the baby, da-da-da. I'm like, okay. But I'm just in pain because, 2, you know, we are not meant to be giving birth laying down. So as I was standing up, I was fine because the contraction was flowing right through me. So when I was at 4 centimeters, she said, do you want to call whoever, come stick me, come do whatever you got to do, because I'm in pain, like, and I was having cramps in my butt. It was like back pain, back contractions, and butt contractions. So I'm just over it. I'm just over everything and everybody at this moment. Like, the whole hospital is gonna get caught on fire because I'm pissed. So she called the I'm not gonna call him an anesthesiologist. Whatever he's supposed to be. The contraction. I mean, oh God, what? The epidural man, whatever he's called. She called him. So he gave me an epidural or whatever. It didn't hurt. Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, mine was a 3. Like, I didn't feel it. Them contractions hurt worse than anything. So, sorry y'all hear my dog in the background because he's stupid. But the contractions hurt worse than anything. So at that moment, I got the epidural. So he was like, can you feel your leg? Try to wiggle your toes. So I saw myself moving my feet, but I couldn't feel nothing. I'm cool at this point. I'm like, cool. So I sat up in the bed, you know, fluffed my pillow, and I was finna watch Nickelodeon. So the doctors came in. Oh, peep this. Okay, so when I got to the hospital around 11 o'clock that morning, I had 2 women doctors. They short, you know, got small hands, whatever. Shift changed at 7 o'clock. I get 2 male doctors. One of them is King Giant, and then the other one, he was like, you know, normal, regular size. And then both of the doctors have to check your cervix to get an accurate, because one doctor may be like, oh, it's 3 centimeters. One doctor may feel like it's 4. So at that point, I was 4 centimeters. So he was like, well, we're going to break your water. Okay, whatever. So they broke it. I was 5 centimeters. I'm cool, whatever. So about 10 minutes later, he came back, checked me. I was 7 centimeters. I didn't know I was dilating this quick, but obviously I was. So I was like, okay, cool. You know, I'm good. I'm kind of like, stop coming up in here. Like, if I need you, I call you. When I tell I put this on my life, my son life. That doctor said, you're 7 centimeters. He took off one glove. He was okay, just let us know when you need us. I said, I got a boo-boo. He was like, wait a minute, I just checked you. Because when he got up out of the room, I was finna go to the bathroom. Like, me stupid. Like, I was finna go to the bathroom, like, and handle that. This doctor put back on the glove. Up, you're 10 centimeters. He turned out the big light. The spotlights came on. I'm looking. I'm like, what is he doing? So my mama stood up. She was like, oh, it's time. I said, time for what? She was like, Tamia, you finna have a baby. I was like, why? She was like, oh, leave it up to my child to be a mom. So I'm like, I wasn't even ready for this. Like, I wanted to finish watching TV. So at this point, it was 11 something at night. They had, at that point, they thought I was going to have a baby the next day, like over in the morning, because I had been contracting slow. So they had to call the head doctor, and she had to come all the way back to the emergency room because she had went home for the night, and she was going to come back in the morning. Y'all, so he was like, whatever you do, don't push. I said, somebody better catch this baby because I'm finna push. The head doctor come back. So they delivered the baby. He was out in 3 pushes. He came out. And I was just like, child, so I was like, do you want to hold him? I said, can y'all clean him up first? But he came out like real blue. He came out real blue because he was lacking oxygen, which is why I had to get induced. So he didn't have any oxygen. He didn't have any oxygen. So, you know, so they took him over to the little bed thing and gave him oxygen. So he got his coat. So they cleaned him up. So I was holding him and I was just like, I'm a mom. Like, I'm a mother. Like, are you serious? But, y'all, my first question when I got done having this baby, I was like, when can I eat? Because I was so hungry. Like, he was like, you can eat in about an hour. When I say that cold sandwich, them crackers and that juice was the best meal I done had probably in my life. It was nasty, but it was good. You know what I'm saying? It was good. But y'all, thanks for tuning in on my pregnancy story. Y'all give it a like, comment, make sure you subscribe, and I'll be back again with another video. Bye.